There we go. Thank you. I don't know who that old guy is. I'm only 39. So that is trickery. First of all, I wanted to thank all of you for coming. This is our tribe. This is our community. And this is really about you. Yes, we're celebrating a great man, the godfather of influence. And quite honestly, I also want to celebrate his wife, Babette, because for decades, she has supported him and gotten him, like the old saying goes, and I'm an old guy, so I can say this, but behind every great man is a great woman. And if you know Babette, she's an amazing woman. Thank you. And thank you again. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful. I wish you could see yourselves because this is such an amazing, beautiful audience. And it's such a pleasure to be here. So Tom, the Tommy Bahama, so I got to give him a nickname, said you can reach anybody. And that's true. Just a quick story. About 2 years ago, I read a book, Online Influence, by a guy by the name of Bas Wouters, and sent him an email because his email address was in the book. That led to Dr. Cialdini. That led to my dear friend and business partner, Scott Brandley. Stand up, Scott. He's an amazing, brilliant guy. Thank you. He and I just wrote a book called Reputation King. But I wanted to reach a lot of highly influential, authoritative people for social influence to write reviews for that book before it came out. So I reached out to some amazing people, authors, subject matter experts, speakers, business leaders. We ended up with 35 amazing leaders in their space. Authors, multi-authors, writing a review for this book from people they'd never heard of and who'd never written a book before. And several of them are here today. Roger Dooley, would you stand up, please? Where's Roger? Roger. Roger wrote the book Friction and Brainfluence, two amazing behavioral science books. Another dear friend, now a dear friend, Nancy Harhut. Nancy, where are you? Thank you, Nancy. Nancy wrote a book called Using Behavioral Science in Marketing, another amazing book. There are so many amazing authors and thought leaders and leaders in this group. This really is an amazing tribe, and I hope you appreciate that. I would crawl over broken glass to get here. Beach glass, but I would crawl over broken glass. No, this really is the best day of my life, honestly. So today we're going to talk about compounding growth with e-commerce influence, or influence in e-commerce. And I want to start out with some stats. But before I do that, I have to pay tribute to my mother. So my mother recently passed, and her favorite color was purple. So I'm wearing a purple tie in honor of my mother. Now, 3 months before she, thank you. 3 months before she passed, she wanted to read our book. She never got to read it because it came out 3 months later. But I do want to thank Dr. Cialdini and Dr. Niter for honoring my mother and wearing purple, even though they didn't know it was her favorite color. But my mother was my best friend. She was a huge influence in my life. And one of her mottos was, be nice to everybody, like everybody, and get to know them first. And little did she know how powerful that was in the world of influence. So I used that throughout my life. When I was first job out of college, I got recruited by Eastman Kodak, little company, you probably never heard of them. Well, they used to be a huge company, now they're a little company. But at the time, they had 136,000 employees. They had 3 separate exits in Rochester, New York, because their facility was so big. And they were a global organization, one of the fifth largest companies in the world. And in any case, my sales manager gave me 2 books to read. 2 books. One was How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? The other, Influence. Now, my first year in sales, I received all of the top sales awards. I attribute that to my dear friend, Dr. Cialdini, and, of course, Dale Carnegie. So these are timeless books, timeless principles that when used properly in business, in communications, in relationships, You can do anything with ethical influence. Okay, now, on to stats. For $1 million, and it's true, I'm going to give you $1 million. Oops, not that $1 million. That $1 million, because that's really cool. It's gold. Who can tell me what the average failure rate is for an e-commerce website within the first year of launching? Oh my goodness, 90%. How'd you know that?
$1 billion.
There you go, $1 billion. So it's true, 90%. He didn't make that up. That's a true number. Now, next question is, what percent of e-commerce website traffic typically converts into a sale? For another, what percent? 2%. 2%. All right, errand runner. Thank you. This is my beautiful assistant here. 2%. Crazy. Okay, is there a correlation? Is there a correlation between the fact that 90% of e-commerce websites fail within the first year of launching and the fact that only 2%, it's actually 1.9%, but we're going to give it to you, 1.9% on average actually converts into a sale? Now you think about the money, the time, the effort, the resources, the skills, the expertise that it takes to create a website and to create all that traffic, whether it be paid or organic or both, to have only 2% convert to a sale? That's tragic. Now, here's another interesting stat. What percent of A/B split tests or conversion experiments end up in a positive result that are not based in behavioral science? What percent? 10%. So 10% end up in a positive outcome, so you will get your money. I pay out, I deliver. You can get it up anytime. Okay, 10% succeed. On the other hand, if your experiment is based on behavioral science principles, 60% end in a positive outcome. So your hypothesis must always be rooted in the core psychology of behavioral science. If not, good luck, right? Now, what we're going to talk about today is how to make a website successful. How many of you own, operate, or work in the e-commerce industry? Okay, a few. Fantastic. You're going to love this. How many of you have bought online? Everybody, right? Has anybody ever heard of Amazon by chance? Little company? So e-commerce, as we know, is a big part of the economic industry. It drives revenue, billions and trillions of dollars takes place online. But, unfortunately, most people don't know how to convert a lot of that traffic to a sale. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about just two principles today that are phenomenally successful at converting traffic to a sale. Okay, for another $1 million, I love giving away money. I love reciprocity. I love making people rich. Finish this statement. You must learn before you earn. Wow, everybody's going to get that one. You must learn before you earn. That's right. So we're going to give you a free book to learn before you earn. If you go there right now and download this book, yes, there's a form. Why is there a form? Because we're going to randomly pick 3 people from the audience to receive this book that we just came out with, Reputation King. My mother never got to read it, so you get to read it. But here's the cool thing. It's signed and autographed by Dr. Cialdini and many of the others who have written a review for the book. So we're really excited about that. We're going to give 3 of those away today. Where's my clicker? There it is. We're also going to take a picture with you, okay? So you get the autographed book and you get a photograph. Okay, moving on. My $1 billion story. I spent 20 years in the automotive industry. Toyota, Hyundai, J.D. Power and Associates. I've owned several agencies. I had one agency where we worked specifically in the home improvement space, another agency specifically in the automotive space. And so I did a lot of consulting, a lot of work with Toyota, Lexus, Mercedes, Hyundai, CarMax, J.D. Power and Associates, et cetera. Laundry list of all of the manufacturers and the largest automotive dealer groups in the country. So I had quite a rich history. I actually used to write for the automotive industry as well. I wrote a column in Dealer Magazine, and I spoke at the National Automobile Dealers Association pretty much every year. Why? Because I wrote, therefore I was an authority. If you write, you're an authority, right? So in any case, one day before Thanksgiving, I get a call from a recruiter from the nation's largest independent automotive franchise. And they said, man, we're looking for a new CMO. And you have all the qualifications we're looking for. Blah, 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 blah. So while the recruiter is talking to me about the company and the opportunity, I was in the tech business at the time, by the way, software, and I'm looking up their reputation, as you do, right? We all do that, right? We always look at the reputation of a company online. That's what we do. We look for the social proof. We look for the authority. We look for the credibility. And so within, maybe 5 or 6 minutes into the conversation, I said, you know what? I'm not interested, but thank you. I'm on my way out the door to take pictures with my family for a Christmas card. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's pretty much what we do every year, right? And I said, wait. You don't even know what this is about. I said, yeah, but I looked at your stars online, and I don't think I'm interested. And my clicker's not working. Oh, that's what I saw. Wow. Wow. That's what I said. So this was just one of the review sites. And I know how difficult it is to move the needle with a business if they don't have a good online reputation. Do you buy from companies that don't have a good online reputation? No. Do you buy products online that don't have a good reputation? No. Why? It's risk. There's uncertainty. There's doubt. There's fear. Oh, I'm going to waste my money, my time, my energy buying something that is subpar. So we look for social proof. Well, guess what? Employees do the same thing. Or future employees. Or your leadership team. Or your investors. Did you know that companies with a subpar online reputation have a higher interest rate on loans, typically? Right? This is a fact. Big report was done by McKinsey. McKinsey and Associates came out with this report and said, your online reputation affects the interest rate you will pay on loans. Why? High risk. Because people don't like you. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so long story short, I took the job. Why? Because I'm crazy. And I love a challenge. And I really wanted this challenge because I knew a little something about the review industry because I worked with J.D. Power and Associates, which really was the automotive review and award company par excellence. And I knew something about that space. So I knew that if I got in there and they promised, and they did, that I'd have full control over their reputation management online, that this could be my baby. And it was, and it did. And holy smokes. So what we did was completely change the way the reviews were collected. We completely changed the way the reviews were syndicated, distributed, and displayed on the website. We literally 12x'd the number of reviews collected. And then we laser targeted those reviews to very specific review platforms. Not any review platform. The ones that our customers and potential customers said they look at the most. So we targeted those top 5. Laser precision. Bam, 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 bam. Right? Until each and every one of them was showing at least a 4-star average rating. When I started with a company, their online average was 1.2. As you can see here, within a month, by laser focusing reviews on just one platform, we got it to a 4.7 in 1 month. Strategy. Tools, software, worthless without strategy. You must have a strategy to understand how to truly build and magnify and amplify an online reputation. This was exciting. What was more exciting is what happened afterward. So this, by the way, this company was on a 3-year downward trajectory in sales. Not only that, but their portfolio was sinking. Meaning, this is a subprime automotive company. Subprime meaning bad credit. And they were actually in the deep subprime, buy here, pay here space, which means they provided their own funding because no bank would write these people. And so what happened was the better credit people saw the online reviews and said, no thanks. So who bought the cars and bought the loans? What's that? Yeah, deep subprime. People had no other choice. Well, guess what? They're the highest risk. So not only did sales go down for 3 years, but the cost of managing those loans and those portfolios went up. Why? More defaults, harder to collect, more energy, more time, more resources to collect those loans. This company was in a downward spiral. And guess what else? They'd been purchased 2 years prior by a VC company out of California. And they're pulling their hair out. They're like, what is happening? Unfortunately, they didn't understand the review industry either. They didn't even know that the reviews were actually causing all this. So they fired their CMO, and they hired me, Yahoo, because maybe I knew something about reviews that they didn't understand. And so it was really, really exciting to take this company that was going down for 3 years, their portfolio was sinking, the default rate was going up because of the fact that they couldn't attract better quality customers because of their online reputation, i.e. social proof, i.e. reviews. We also increased the applications by 25% and the sales, where the rubber meets the road, by 19%. So this is really, really exciting in 1 year. And it just kept going up because we got a handle on the one thing that matters the most, social proof. Social proof vis-a-vis ratings and reviews. Google, by the way, says that reviews are the holy grail of social proof. Okay, now we're going to talk about the conversion path real quickly. Scott and I came up with this concept called the conversion path, not the conversion funnel, not the buyer journey, but the conversion path. We wanted to rename it. Why? Because we wanted to build in behavioral science into every step of the path. We wanted to build in what we knew worked. We wanted to make sure that those tests, those experiments, were based on behavioral science, not change the button from pink to blue and see what happens. Who cares? Those fail almost every time. When you base it on behavioral science, you have a 60% chance of success. So, one thing we realized was that there's friction along the way. Now, I have two definitions of marketing. Definition one, marketing's job is to change the hearts and minds of your market. Love that. Definition two, marketing's job is to identify and mitigate or remove friction along the journey. Love both of those. And they're both true. Yes, marketing needs to generate leads, but if you don't change the hearts and minds of the market and you don't identify and remove friction, you're sunk. You're not going to create leads because that's just how it works. That's how the brain works, right? So, rule number one, identify friction. Is it too difficult, too time-consuming? Do you have terrible navigation? Do you have terrible graphics? Too many forms, too many pages, too many choices to make? Analysis paralysis, right? And then there's perceived friction, doubt, fear, concern, anxiety. These emotions that come up when you're about to buy something. What's the percentage of shopping carts that are abandoned, even though people put in their information, they put the product in the shopping cart, and then they leave? What percent of people do that? 70%. Another $1 million to come up and get it at the end. 70% of people leave the shopping cart. They went through all the effort, and then they bounce. 98% of the entire traffic to your website bounces before they even get to that point. It's crazy what the numbers are, right? Because of fear, anxiety, doubt. We have to address those points mentally, emotionally, because that's what keeps us from converting customers. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a little thing called persuasion. There's a guy that wrote a book called Persuasion. Can't remember his name, but it's a great book. And we actually, when I read this book, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, persuasion is search results. Persuasion is what happens when people put in a search term and up come those search results. What they see, what they experience, what they desire at that point in time, because of the context, the environment, and the sequence, is going to affect what happens when they go to the website, if they even get to the website, right? We're going to prove that statistically. Okay, we also want to build authority in the search engines, which means we want to make sure that our website, our message, our brand, our products come up at the top of the search results. Why? Because research says that those listings that come up at the top are more authoritative, more credible. They're going to get more traffic. And we, of course, want to show social proof. You would be amazed at how many brands, if you put in the search term abc.com, not abc.com, but put in the brand, reviews, abc.com reviews, and see what comes up. It's terrifying. It's terrifying because the brand doesn't manage those search results. They usually don't even do those searches themselves. But what comes up is terrifying. That's what I did with the company, right? The automotive company. That's the first thing I did. jdbuyWriter.com reviews, or JD BuyWriter reviews. Holy smokes. Something's wrong in Kansas because nobody's watching the farm, right? All right. So you want to make sure that, dropped a word out of there. You want to make sure that your reviews are coming up in the search results and your brand is coming up at the top of the search results. Now we go to the actual website. We want to show social proof here too. Homepage, category page, product page, right? Ratings reviews are what? What did Google say about ratings reviews? Holy grail, social proof. Exactly. You want to show other trust signals, badges, seals, and helpful content. Because if you don't answer the shopper's questions, do they have confidence? No. They have doubt, and they have fear, and they have anxiety. Because we have anxiety around things we don't know the answer to. We have to have answers. All right, persuasion search. So, what Scott and I love to do is hypothesize around behavioral science principles. So we'll come up with a hypothesis, and then we'll write a survey around that hypothesis. From there, we'll run a live test on a client's website to prove out the results of the survey. So hypothesis, survey, live test. And what we found was when we asked the question, when researching a company online, do you check their ratings on multiple review sites? Multiple review sites. 66.33% came back and said, yes. Surprised? Do you do that? How many? How many do that? Yeah, right? Wow, statistically we do, don't we? Even though you're chicken to raise your hands. Most of us do that. I do that. Why? Because we're looking for the trifecta. We want to see this mix of balanced reviews. We usually don't just trust one review source, right? So we look at multiple. So then we ask the question, if a company has a good overall rating on one review site, but a bad overall rating on 2 other sites, which do you trust? Lo and behold, 69.17% trust the 2 with bad reviews. Social proof. The preponderance of evidence says, 2 review sites with bad, 1 with good, I'm going to trust the 2. It's statistics. Next question. If a company has a good overall rating on 1 review site, but a bad overall rating on 2 other sites, which sites do you trust? Oh, did I just mix that up? I did. Sorry. You'll forgive me, I hope. Let's go back to, okay. So on this one, I got ahead of myself. On this one, as you can see, 64.67%, or rounding up 65%, trust the 2, right? So next question, getting to authority. If a website that answered your question and showed up at the top of the search results would a website that answered your question and showed up at the top of the Google search results increase the perceived credibility of that website? Now, sub-credibility for authority or trust, right? Kind of the same genre of definition, credibility, authority, trust. What do you think the number is? What percent of people do you think said, yes, the ones that come up at the top have more credibility? Anybody? What? 95? 80%. 80% said yes. The results that come up at the top of the search results have more credibility. Sub, trust, authority, right? Surprised? How many times do you guys click on the search result on page 3? It's the best place to hide a dead body because nobody's going to see it. How about page 2? Ain't nobody seeing that either, right? Really, the reality is people only click on page 1. And we'll show you some interesting statistics in just a second. So we also asked the question, if you asked a product question in Google and the answer came up at the top of the search results, how likely are you to visit that website? Very similar result. 73% were highly or extremely likely to click on that result. Now, bam, here's the actual data. A company called Backlinko did a study of 4 million search results. And what they found was that the top 5 search results get 69.1% of the traffic. Crazy, right? Well, not really, because the survey says that's how they would actually click, and that's what they actually did. Now, this particular study was done on non-branded search terms. Branded search terms, meaning they put in an actual product name or an actual company name, 60% clicked on position 1. 60%. Position 1. Okay, authority and trust in search. This is a search result of an actual client of ours. As you can see, they have great reviews on Shopper Approved, and then they kind of start going down from there. This is a B2B company. It's a big company. As you can see, they have 1.5 million reviews. This is company B, also a client of ours. Also a B2B company, by the way. But this company uses a tool of ours that sends reviews to multiple review sites. Trifecta. Wow, what's happening here? Which company do you think, off the top of your head, has more credibility, more authority, more trust? B, right? Coincidentally, company B has been a Fortune 5,000 fastest growing company 5 years in a row. They had a glorious exit and attribute a lot of their success to reputation management, to this strategy, because they crushed their competition. Because their competition did not manage their online reviews, their online reputation, their online social proof, their online authority. They did what most companies do. Build a website, hope for the best. Let's go. But that's not enough, is it? Because 90% of websites fail in the first year. Because 98% of your traffic never converts. So is that enough? No. All right, this is a Google ad. These are review stars in a Google ad. And if you have these pretty little review stars, you can expect a 10 to 35% increase in click-through rate, which translates to traffic. Now, another study says that when you have review stars in your Google ads, you get a 24% increase in traffic and a 26% increase in conversion rate. Compound growth. More traffic, more conversion. Persuasion. They were persuaded because of this. They were persuaded because they came into the buying environment, i.e. the website, with social proof, with trust, with credibility, right? Persuasion at work. Influence at work. This is a Google organic search result, review stars, Google My Business or Google Business Profile, review stars. This is a Google Shopping search result. Here you've got the effect of product reviews at the top and seller ratings at the bottom. The top quality store is a Google badge, which you have to qualify for vis-a-vis your high seller ratings. By the way, are you guys aware that there's 2 kinds of reviews? There's product reviews and there's seller ratings. Seller ratings are for the website, Product reviews are for the product. You need both. You don't run a marathon with one leg. You need them both, right? So you've got to have seller ratings and product reviews because they show up in different places at different times, under different conditions, in different searches. So a lot of people have the misunderstanding, all I need is product reviews, because they're just buying the product. They don't care about the website. Ooh, big miss. 98% of people don't convert. 90% of websites fail. Why? Because they don't get it. They don't understand these principles. This is a featured snippet. Featured snippet is also called position 0 because it comes up above position 1. Now remember, a few slides ago, position 1 was getting 27% of the clicks. Position 0 gets 35% of the clicks. So if you want to dominate your competition and dominate the search results, you need to get up in the featured snippets. One of the best ways to do that is with search optimized Q&A, because why do people go to Google? They have questions. Google is just a big question and answer database, as is Bing. I just say Google generically. But that's why people go there. They have questions. They want answers. If you can provide that answer and it's search optimized to show up at the top, what happens? You have more authority. You have more credibility. You have more visibility. You have more clicks. You have more traffic. That's a company, by the way, that increased their organic traffic by 400% over 5 years through Q&A alone. Okay, social proof on websites. I got to get moving. You want to apply social proof with ratings and reviews, most popular badge, show how many were sold. You want to do that on your homepage. So we did another survey. We asked the market if you had social proof, i.e. ratings and reviews, and how many people recommended your website above the fold, what percent would prefer that website over the one that didn't have the same. 73% said, I want that one. I want the one with social proof. And then we asked, do you think displaying a company's overall star rating at the top of the page increases your trust in that company? 87% said yes. Didn't Dr. Cialdini just say this morning? Show your social proof at the top. Don't bury it. You've got to have it at the top. Why? You have milliseconds to establish trust and credibility when people hit your web page. Milliseconds. So you've got to show it at the top. So we did a live test. We built this. We put it on a client's website, and bam, 41.14% increase in conversion rate with a 99.55% confidence factor. And all we did was add social proof on the homepage alone above the fold. That's all we did. No other changes whatsoever on the website. Authority on your website. As seen in, as seen on, awards and certificates, ratings and reviews, expert endorsements, helpful content. Be the WebMD of your space. Why? People have questions. They want answers. If you don't have answers, they don't want you. You can't help them, right? So having the answers to the questions is critical. Brand and client logos, security logos. These all create credibility, authority, and trust. And trust trumps everything. So, you want this on your homepage. You want ratings and reviews on your category pages. Because ratings and reviews on your category pages are a decision aid. They help people make an informed, quick, easy, System 1 decision. And you want ratings, reviews, and Q&A and website security on your product page. Now, what does that look like? Does this remind you of any particular website? Amazon, bingo. Why would we want to replicate Amazon? Familiarity, trust. People trust Amazon. They're familiar with Amazon. Well, why would you do something different? Because people are already buying from that, right? So you want to emulate the leaders. Boom, looks like Amazon. And everybody else. Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, right? Target, they're all doing the same thing. Why? Because it works. Familiarity, trust, credibility, authority. So then we went back to a survey. We asked the market, which of these two product pages would you rather buy from? Lo and behold, 91% said B, even though we randomized the order. So there's no order bias in the survey. 91% said, I want B. Why? Looks like Amazon. Trust, authority, credibility. I know the website's secure. I know that the product has reviews. I know they've got Q&A to answer my questions. I know that the website has authority because of the seller ratings. Of course I want that. Who doesn't? So we asked the next question, how much more likely to buy if a product page has trusted secure transaction link next to the buy now button? 74% were extremely likely. This was followed up by another study that we did not do. This was done by a company called Conversion Fanatics out of Austin, Texas, a conversion rate optimization company, and they tested the TrustGuard security seal next to the checkout page, and they found that regular orders increased by 19%, recurring orders by 28%, and AOV, or average order value, by 71%, by simply stating this website is secure. Nobody's looking for the lock, right? Nobody's looking for that. It's too much work. They don't want the lock in the browser. I don't care if your website's secure. If the customer doesn't know it, and you don't make it easy, they don't believe you. You've got to make it easy. You've got to remove the friction. It's all about friction. Remove, mitigate, reduce friction on every page, at every step, on every form, every button. Friction is the killer of conversion. So we just answered the 3 critical conversion questions. Can I trust this website? Yes. How? Top search results, ratings and reviews. Can I trust this product? Yes, we can. How do we answer that? Ratings and reviews, Q&A. Can I trust this transaction? How do we answer that? Website security seal. Who's doing that? Amazon, Best Buy, Home Depot, Lowe's. All the big marketplaces do the exact same thing. Why? It works. Familiarity. Okay, couple case studies here, and we're done. S&S fire pits, they sell high-end, very expensive, last-a-lifetime fire pits. They're thousands of dollars. So we came along and we added the review stars to their Google Ads, and bam, 95% increase in click-through rate. That's money, right? That's money. But what's even better, 360% increase in conversion rate and a 30% increase in average order value, AOV. Compounding growth. Compounding growth. That is compound growth. More traffic, more conversions, more revenue, more money to the bottom line. Antigo Tire and Wheel, they sell aftermarket suspension kits, tires, wheels, etc. for golf carts and ATVs. There's a niche for everything. For 5 years, their traffic was flat. 5 years. They averaged 256 unique visitors a month for 5 years. Then they added the strategy, Q&A, ratings and reviews. We did this in June, and then they added the Q&A in July. Holy smokes, is that real? Yes. That's from Ahrefs, which is a software that looks at traffic of websites. Increased traffic by 8,745% in 9 months. Organic, not paid. Now, they do attribute half of that to the Q&A and the reviews because they also did some other SEO efforts, but they said that half of it at least goes to reviews and Q&A. But what's more, and this is the fun part, is that they increased the conversion rate by 272%. 100% of that they attribute to the ratings, reviews, and the Q&A. Why? Ambiguity is gone. Concern is gone. Now they have the social proof. Now they have the trust. Now they have the authority. It's a safe buy. We all want safe buys. That's why we like warranties, guarantees, free shipping, right? So, 6 principles in action. Do we have winners? Let's see. All right. So the winners of the 3 books, Dan Norris. Woo, where's Dan? Dan Norris and Magisano. Did I butcher that? And Magisano. And McBilly Sai. All right. So afterward, come up. We're going to give you your books. We're going to take pictures. So what we just did, we hope we just did, was we showed you an example of reciprocity, right? Urgency. You can only do this now, here. Exclusivity, only 3. Scarcity, only 3. Exclusivity, you're part of now an elite club. And now you are part of our brand. And we love you, and thank you, and happy Mother's Day.